genocide started, don't you guys feel like, I personally feel like you guys do a disservice to the Palestinian community as a whole whenever anybody such as Piers Morgan or CNN or anybody comes out and says that Hamas is a terrorist organization, that there isn't the pushback to immediately point to the IDF, which has done magnitudes worse actions than Hamas has ever done in their entire history. Why don't you guys have more pushback when Hamas is given the terrorist designation and those same people will not label the IDF a terrorist organization?
Your question is framed around a disservice to the Palestinian community from me. But okay, but let's just deal with the specifics of your question. I've been on Piers Morgan, and actually Piers Morgan's been on my show. And I literally said what you said I didn't say. The tape is out there. I literally went to him and said, why isn't Israel considered a terrorist organization? Do you condemn Benjamin Netanyahu's terrorism against the children of Gaza?
Well, I wouldn't categorize it as you do as terrorism. You're not going to get me to say that what Israel's been doing is terrorism, because I believe they are defending
Why
their
not,
people.
though, is what I'm wondering. Why isn't the quote-unquote IDF, which, by the way, Zeteo refuses to call it the IDF, it's not the Israel Defense Forces. It's an Israeli occupying force, and we call it the Israeli military. I said to Piers Morgan, why don't you consider the Israeli military a terrorist group? And he hid behind some...
And you asked him, why don't you condemn it?
Why don't you condemn it? And he hid behind pedantry about the definition of terrorism. So I think it's a little unfair. There's a lot to criticize me for, right? A lot to criticize me for. But I think it's unfair when people criticize me for either saying things that I didn't say or saying, why didn't you say this? And I'm like, I did, bro. I literally said it to Piers Morgan on his show and my show, and the tape is out there. And you're right. We should apply the label terrorism to what Israel is doing in Gaza, and not just what Israel is doing in Gaza, what the US government has done around the world. The Trump administration, which for some reason gets a pass from some sections of the left, is currently bombing Yemen. Oh, sorry, they've taken a break because they did a peace deal with the Houthis, apparently. They just killed 60 African migrants in a detention center. They're bombing Yemen. It's literally the definition of terrorism is to try and bring about political change through the use of violence. That is 100% what the American military does, what the Russian military does, what the Israeli military does. So I agree with you. I've spent 15 years in public life arguing about this ridiculous term terrorism.